Well, good afternoon and happy Monday. Hi, I'm Kimberly Clark, and I am going to be sharing my story with all of you in just a few minutes. I want to make sure that my good friend Tracy is on and can tell me whether or not you can hear me or whether my loud cheerleader voice is like shouting out there and I need to turn it down. So Tracy, if you could give me a thumbs up and just let me know that things are going well, and we'll wait for a couple of people to hop on. And while we do that, I want to thank Tracy for this amazing platform that really allows us to share our love for what we're doing and our unique and individual stories. I loved listening to Danielle this morning as she shared her story, because I too am having my 9-year road anniversary today. So this week. So it's amazing the people that we meet along the way. We've become really good friends and have traveled together. And this is somebody who I would never have known without the whole Rodan and Fields experience. So we're so excited. So I guess, hey, Anjum, it is an amazing platform. So now I know you guys can hear me. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Tracy again. Where would we be without Tracy? None of us would be here. And that is the absolute truth. Her courage to say yes 9.5 years ago really led the way. And all of her yes led to other yeses. And that led to my yes and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more yeses along the way. So that's the beauty of what we have in Rodan and Fields. And I'm so excited to be able to share my story with you guys today. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a single mom. My son is 33 years old. That was an eye-opening experience. My very first midlife age crisis, after the one I'll tell you in a few minutes, when I knew I needed some Botox, but was when he turned 30. And I thought, what is that? I mean, like, he is a fully grown man. Like, I cannot even say, you know, he's a young man. He's my son. No, he is a man. He is fully grown. And then came the reality, like, oh my God, what does that make me? OLD. Right? Old. If he's 33, I must be old. Thank God for Dr. Rodan and Dr. Fields, I'm telling you. So I'm a single mom. My son lives in Washington, D.C. Love to get up there and see him as much as he'll let me, and just get my mommy fix every once in a while, which I also can do thanks to this wonderful, wonderful business. I am also what we call the sandwich generation. So my mother is 81 years old. She is fabulous. She's the queen. I almost wrote on my description up there, princess to the queen, because I am so grateful that I get to make her feel like the queen every day. And 5 years ago, after my dad passed away, we decided to live together and make every day count and every moment a new memory. So our house is stocked with Prosecco. If you ever need a bottle, you can come on by, or just a glass. It's always open to our Rodan and Fields family. All right, anyway, so I'm in the sandwich generation. I also have a background in interior design, and I was a partner in a very successful nationally published firm for more than 15 years. And just like Danielle talked to you guys about a little bit this morning about how it's really interesting that, you know, we go to college, we pick our career, we do what we want to do. In some cases, we struggle to find what that thing is for us. That was sort of my journey. So when I was in my late 30s and really found the world of design, I thought, man, I hit the jackpot. I found something I love to do. I love to create. I love to help people by changing the way that they live their lives, by changing the environment in which they live. And I knew that we could make that happen And so we did, and it was really great. And we built an amazing firm, but then something that was out of the extraordinary, something that none of us had any control over happened. And that was in 2008, in October of '08. The economy fell apart, the stock market crashed. I wrote in somewhere that I think that the term expendable income was actually redefined at that moment, because even people that had lots of money were calling and saying stop their jobs. And literally in 4 days after working to build a very successful firm, we lost more than 70% of our income in 4 days in the fall of '08. And that was huge, as Danielle said, a huge gut check. It was, because as a single mom, I really didn't have any other options. And my eggs were all in that basket because we were successful. And so 4 months had gone by and we hadn't had a paycheck. And literally, I was just like, I mean, people weren't hiring. Firms were laying off people. Stores that had been open 100 years were closing their doors. And my business partner and I would drive around town and we'd go, do you think that Publix will hire both of us? And can we have side-by-side cash registers? You know? And I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. It was dire. So we were with one of our remaining clients in Atlanta, and I thank God that she thought enough of me, just like whoever has asked you to take a look at this video today, that person has thought enough about you to ask you to take a look and see, do you see what they see? Because that's what my client did. She wasn't even a part of Rodan & Fields. We hadn't seen the products. I'd never heard of them. And she said, you know, and she had a fabulous home. I just do want to say, she said, my friend keeps asking me to take a look at this business. Would you look at it and tell me what you think? And I said, well, sure. Tell me what you know about it. And she said, well, she said, it's the doctors that created Proactive. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. I knew what Proactive meant because it was everywhere. And I knew in our design firm what we had to spend to get a little bit of coverage, right, in our advertising budget. I knew what our photographer cost. I couldn't imagine what it cost to do a commercial or have a whole page ad or do all those mailers or whatever and have the celebrity endorsements. Who knew? But I knew it was big. So my eyes were wide open. And what she really didn't know, because she didn't know our situation, nobody did, those were the tears that I was crying in the middle of the night. Those were the prayers that I was lifting up to the Lord, because I knew that I needed something to make a difference in our lives, in the life of my family. And so, and then she said, what they did for acne, and I'm not kidding you, this was about a 3-minute conversation. What they did for acne, they're doing for anti-aging. Now, what I didn't tell you was Danielle said she was getting ready to turn 40. I was getting ready to turn 50. And on the way to Atlanta, I said to my business partner, I looked in the mirror, 4 months with no paycheck, and I'm not kidding you. My face was full of stress. There were lines around my eyes, lines up here, and I looked at her and said, I have zero money, but I am going to have some Botox. I'm pretty sure of it, because I just knew that if I felt better about the way I looked, that I would be able to present myself better and I would feel better about the outlook on life in general. So anyway, so then she said, you know, it's about anti-aging, and that was it for me. I was like, sign me up. And of course, you know, back then, that was the very beginning of Rodan & Fields. But what I would want you to know, if you're listening to this today and wondering, well, that was 9 years ago. I mean, like, what, is there room for me? I think every speaker that's on here today that's a top leader would tell you that yes, oh yes, that today it is so much easier to build a Rodan & Fields business. Do you know that Facebook wasn't even really around? And thank God for Facebook. It's allowed us to have a platform like this where truly you can build anywhere in the world, you know, as in the countries that we're in, and but across the United States with people that you maybe haven't connected with in a long time or whatever, and you don't have to. I mean, you're already friends on Facebook. It's fabulous, fabulous. People know the name Rodan and Fields today. They've seen it somewhere. They may not know about it. Lots of people have not heard about it, but they've seen something. And that's because we get more free press coverage than any really beauty company that's out there. And I really believe that the combination between our #1 products, award-winning, and the fact that we have this e-commerce platform that we can really leverage the power that once a long time ago was only available to corporations. They're the only ones that had the power to reach around the globe, or the United States or Canada. But today, you and I have that opportunity, and that makes it much easier to be able to build your Rodan and Fields enterprise. So anyway, so I just told my client, listen, we are all signing up today. And if you don't want to sign up, that's fine, but I'm signing up today. We never saw the products. We never saw, the websites, none of that. What I want to tell you is that the real key for me, because I knew the situation that I was in, and I don't know what situation you're in today. Only you know that, right? But the situation that I was in, I loved what Danielle said earlier about that she wanted to look where she was going to be in 10 years. Well, a lot of times it's really hard. It's really hard to see that, right? It's really hard to even know what you want to do in 10 years. But for me, what I knew that I didn't want was to be in the same place that I was right then. And I didn't see a way out. I mean, who's going to hire a 50-something-year-old? And we all just got started. And it's been more than anything that I could have ever imagined. But what I kept saying to myself in that moment was, what if I do this? What if I do it and it doesn't work? What if I don't have a big network, I just don't. And so who am I going to talk to? Those were all little questions that I had. But then the big one came to me. What if you don't? What if you don't do this and it is absolutely everything that you think it can be? Because you know they did it before, you know they're going to do it again, and in your gut, the fear is not as much as the fear of what if I don't was much bigger than any question that I could have asked. I would never have forgiven myself. So we jumped right in. The products came. We started using them. Every day we'd come into the office and go, let me see what's going on here. Girls, I'm going to tell you, 9 years later, I still have no crow's feet, and my lines between my eyes are still gone. It is amazing. So, and being a resident of Florida for the last 30 years, and I went to the University of Hawaii, which means I really, really just laid in the sun. That was all. And my fair complexion, oh my God, the sun damage was horrendous. So I started on the reverse regimen, which cleared up evened out my skin tone, worked on all that hyperpigmentation, that sun damage that I had accumulated. And I partnered it with the AmpMD roller, which is a must-have for your beauty arsenal, and also the intensive night renewing serum and the eye cream. Those were the things that I used from the very get-go. And I'm telling you, that took away my crow's feet, took away my lines between my eyes, took away my sun damage. Unbelievable. All right, so those are my favorite products. That's how I started. Today, I do reverse in the morning to keep all that stuff at bay, and redefine at night with all of the other stuff. Hydration is the product that I didn't know that I needed, but oh my gosh, one of my very favorites. So check with the person who invited you about all those products and find out what yours are going to be. But I promise you this, every product that you try from Rodan and Fields is going to be your new favorite. So you should just buy the kit and try them all at almost a 50% discount because you'll be sorry if you don't. All right. So the middle part of my story is, so we jumped right in, and literally in the first couple of months, the first month I made a small pay, not small, it wasn't small. It was, it was enough to pay a car payment, a good car payment. And my second month was enough to pay my mortgage and my car payment. Now, we're always supposed to remind everybody that this is my unique story. I will tell you that I have a lot of friends who made a lot more money in their first couple of months. But like Danielle, I too was working very full time to get the money rolling into our design, business. So, and it just got better from there. But really what happened was we accumulated a whole team of people that really, that wanted to make a life change for their family. And we began to bond together and to work together and to inspire each other. And we valued each other, which was something that was so missing. People were being laid off and feeling like, that they hadn't had, any value at all. And still today, I mean, really, in where you go to work, which is always going to be an option for you, whether or not you want to stay there. But I suggest that perhaps if you found a place that really valued you for who you were and inspired you to do greater things, and empowered you to be the very best version of yourself, for yourself, and not just for the place that you work and the boss who employs you, that you will find a new level of living. Anyway, so a few years into my Rodan & Fields journey, I mentioned that my dad passed away, and that 2 weeks later, my mom was diagnosed with leukemia. And really, we did not know how that was going to go. The choices that this business gave me allowed me to take a little over 2 years off, almost 2.5 years off, to manage my parents' health care and do all the things that I needed to do to be there for them, like they had been there for our whole family their whole lives. And I had no idea what a blessing that was going to be. But as you all know, my mom and I live together, and we truly are having the greatest time. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So the fact that I can do that because of Rodan & Fields, because I have the income, because I have the flexibility in my schedule, she said to me the other day that I'm never going to forget. She said, you know what? I think that living with you has kept me younger. And I thought, wow, isn't that the greatest thing that we can give to anyone, is to fill them with life so that they feel like living, whether it's your children or whether it is your parents. What a gift. So I think that's what the doctors have done with me. I think they filled me with life so that I could feel like I could live again. And now I get to pass that on. All right. So the best part of my story to this time, and it's all good. So it's not really the best part, but that leads me up to where we are today. One thing I didn't mention in being a single mom was that my son was born with a cleft palate and cleft lip, and pretty significant. And he had 12 surgeries by the time he was 14. And it was a struggle. I am not going to lie. It was a struggle. It was a struggle for both of us. So, but he is fabulous today and handsome as ever. And of course, I'm a little biased there, but it's always been on my heart to be able to give back in that way. And this year, my team, Team Live, which stands for Live Inspired, Valued, and Empowered, decided that we would give back to create life-changing smiles through our life-changing skincare. So each month, we sponsor cleft palate surgeries through Operation Smile. And so we are really changing the lives of children, because in this country, when you are born with a cleft palate or cleft lip or both, you're immediately surrounded by a whole team of physicians that work together and track you through the journey. Children in other countries don't have that opportunity, and the statistics are astounding. 1 out of 10 dies before their first year of age, and 9 out of 10 have the probability of dying before their 20th birthday, because of bacteria and starvation and malnutrition, because they can't eat properly. So truly, when I thought about, gosh, how can we really give back and really make a difference? It was a no-brainer for me. So, and because the fact that what we do in our business is we talk about this being, life-changing skincare. So truly, it's not about the money that you can earn with Rodan and Fields. It is, because it's going to change your life. But it is about what the money can do, right? It's about whether it helps you make ends meet, whether it helps you to just pay for your own skincare, because moms don't like to, we like to do for everybody else before we do for ourselves. Whether you want a little shameless shoe fund, some mad mommy money, I'll tell you the doctors have the most amazing shoes ever. And so that doesn't fall far from the tree. And, you know, or whether you really want to make some significant money to create life-changing value for other people, this is an opportunity that I pray that you will really, really dive into. Danielle said it earlier, you know, the best thing that you can do, the system is in place. We attract very professional, entrepreneurial people, and even stay-at-home moms with a dream. That's creative, right? And entrepreneurial in itself. But don't try to recreate the wheel. The Spark program is exactly how all the top leaders are onboarding their new consultants, because we know it works. We know it's going to get you off to a fast start. You are going to be handsomely rewarded for your efforts in your first full 3 months. And we're all here to support you with venues like this. So we just hope that you'll see what we see. We hope that you don't necessarily have to know where the next part of your journey is going to take you. You just need to say yes to this part of your journey. You just need to say yes to this part of your journey. So, Tracy, thank you so much for inviting me to share with all of your friends, your team, and Rodan and the Rodan and Fields family and our guests. I have so much appreciated being able to share my heart with all of you. So here's to life-changing skin and creating life-changing smiles. Good night, everybody.